Alright. So now we've got to adjust our volume a bit. Now the game capture needs to be at negative 9. Wow. That's nice. Looks like Tetris is using the same, I have the same volume listed as for this game, so I don't have to mess with the volume at all. Yeah, so we'll play about an hour and call the stream there. Alright. Need to stop. You know what I actually do need to do? I need to put this in sleep. We're going to stop using the Joy-Con. We're going to use the Switch Pro controller because that has the D-pad and everything. Because I can't think of any other situation. It feels so odd. There we go. So, let's play some Game Boy on Nintendo Switch for the first time. Alright. Now, Super Mario Land 2, that's one I want to get to in the relatively near future. Link's Awakening DX, I'm going to tell you something. If you had the option, all they had to do was just make another icon to say Link's Awakening, the regular Game Boy version, I would play that on Nintendo Switch instead of using my own copy, my own cartridge, and my analog pocket. Because I have my childhood copy of this game, of Link's Awakening, but I played it back on the original DMG black and white Game Boy. And that's the cartridge I have for it. And I don't want to play a colorized version of it. I want to play it as I originally played it in its original black and white version. And Nintendo has had a weird problem with making digital versions of that game available only on Nintendo 3DS Virtual Console and here on Nintendo Switch Online. They've only made the Game Boy version available. They've only made the Game Boy Color version available. So, all right, and the reference to Elorg, it is up there. It is up there. Never mind, I was mistaken. It was up top. Forehead's. I'm not sweating. My forehead's just the slightest bit shiny, and it bugs me. All right. How can we not go? We'll just go with regular old mode A, which is the sort of marathon mode, where you play until you lose. Alright. And I'm going on the slowest modes. This is... Now, newer versions of Tetris, and very good versions of Tetris, it's typical these days for there to be like a shadow of the block, like that appears on the bottom of the screen as though the block has already been dropped. And you have until... Oh, posture check. Yeah, I had good posture. Yeah, I don't know. I'm honestly not very satisfied with these. Got our first line, and therefore actually our first Tetris. Now, I first got Tetris with my Game Boy when I first got Game Boy in '95. And I heard of Tetris... No, my first exposure to Tetris was actually Tetris 2, which they were playing a lot of commercials for on TV in November of 1993. In November, yeah, I remember 1993. Like they ran the first two Peanuts movies, A Boy Named Charlie Brown, and Snoopy Come Home. And in the commercial breaks, they had a lot of commercials for just different toys and games at the time, including Tetris 2, which was released for Game Boy and NES, and it was really probably. Like, they had lots of commercials for Tetris 2 and Kirby's Adventure. And that was really, honestly, the last holiday season, they had a lot of serious advertising for NES, and they're advertising Tetris 2 and Kirby's Adventure alongside the redesigned top-loading NES. And what was interesting about that to me was, looking back on it, was just how much longer... Because you think of... I mean, the NES, there was a lot more overlap between the NES and Super NES eras than they were for generations to come. I mean, there was a certain amount of overlap between NES, between the Super NES and Nintendo 64. But when it came time to N64 to GameCube, not really much overlap at all. when it came time from GameCube to Wii, no real overlap at all. Wii and Wii U, there was a little bit, but yeah, the idea with PS2 and PS3 there was a lot more overlap, but it really wasn't. Oh, we actually made it to level 2 now. All right, let's see how far I can get. So when I got my Game Boy with Tetris, so I was familiar with Tetris, and they didn't really explain what Tetris was, but I just knew one of the things they're advertising. It's like the main hook of the Tetris 2 TV commercial was like, oh, this time there are bombs in it. And so they show Tetris, just people getting Tetris 2 as gifts, like, oh, someone at a birthday party getting a Tetris 2, or someone playing like, oh, let's play Tetris 2, and then they blow up. It's like, oh, Tetris 2, this time there are bombs in it. So all I knew about Tetris was that Tetris 2 has bombs in it and Tetris 1 didn't. So when I got Tetris with a bunch of other games when I got my Game Boy in '95, I played this and I was like, I didn't really know what to make of it. And because I got it with the manual, but I didn't like read the manual. And so when I started playing this, for some reason, the closest thing I could relate this to were sort of PC and computer art programs. And so I thought this was some kind of thing where you're making art. So I'm trying to use, and I'm like, okay, they're blocks. So I use the blocks to build things, because that's what you do with blocks and wooden blocks toys. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to make shapes and houses. I'm like, what is this? I can't really control where I put them. And then sometimes, like, things start disappearing, and I didn't know what to make of it. So I didn't really mess with it again for a couple of years. Tetris was just, I had it, and I didn't really mess with it. Then I found the manual. And I read the manual. I'm like, okay, you're trying to make solid lines. And so I started playing it, and understanding what I was supposed to be doing, I got hooked. Instantly. And I actually did get the Tetris effect where I'd look around in real life when I wasn't playing the game and see like the shapes fitting into pieces, fitting into blocks, and I'd close my eyes and I'd see the shapes of the blocks falling, and I did legit get full-on Tetris effect. You know what? I'm very sad. I'm looking at the feedback, and I'm actually very satisfied. Like, for example, I was planning to add, I had Kirby's Dream Land was one of the first games I got with my Game Boy, and sometime in the mid to late 90s, I ended up selling it to Funko Land as credit towards some other games. I think that's one of the games I traded in and got Pac-Man. And I was one of the only kids around who probably would have traded like 5 or 6 probably different games in order to get enough credit for Pac-Man. And actually considered a good trade, because I never played Pac-Man before, and I was interested in like video game history, and I didn't want Kirby. I wasn't playing that game anymore. I didn't even like Kirby. Didn't dislike it, but I wasn't that into it either. I never beat it as a kid. I didn't beat it until I played it on the 3DS Virtual Console. So I was planning on, when I got my Analog Pocket, I'm getting into classic Game Boy games. I was like, okay, let's play some, add some Game Boy games to my collection. You know, I had to add Super Mario Land back into my collection, because even when I got back into Game Boy in around 2007 or 8, when I got my Game Boy Pocket and started, you know, buying back some of the games I sold in the day, or the games I never had in the first place, like, well, Balloon Kid, which I didn't even realize existed until long after the fact. I never got Kirby's Dream Land, and now I'm looking at my experience playing the game, the fact that if Game Boy on the Nintendo Switch Online did not have this option to have the green screen effect, I would not be into it. I'd rather buy the original cartridge and play it on, but the fact that I can play it in this way, it really does make it such that I think it, man, I hope, oh man, I hope that they announce Pokemon for Game Boy, the Nintendo Switch Online, or even if you have to buy it as a separate thing, I would pay for Pokemon. I would pay for Pokemon to be able to play it on here. Because they already announced Pokemon. The reason people are saying it's only a matter of time until we get Pokemon on Game Boy on Nintendo Switch Online is because they said straight up, hey, it is, like, why bother having Pokemon Stadium up when one of the main things of Pokemon Stadium was being able to import and play with your Pokemon from the Game Boy version of the game. They have to be working on some kind of system where you could have Game Boy integrated with Pokemon Stadium, like the Game Boy version of Pokemon integrated with Pokemon Stadium. It's only a matter of time. And I hope that gets announced tomorrow, because tomorrow's Pokemon Day, the anniversary of Pokemon coming out in Japan. Man, what was I thinking? Making that huge gap on the lower left there. That's kind of ridiculous, actually. Yeah, I have no idea what I was thinking with that. So I've got to unbox myself out of there. Okay, actually, yeah, perfect. This is actually just what I needed. Yeah, I'm gonna... Man, I'm already up to level 7. 71. Can I make it to 100 lines? I don't think I ever made it to 100 lines as a kid in Mode A. And I used to always play Mode A, and then once I discovered Mode B, like, which gives you more of a concrete goal, I never went back. Really, I never played Mode A again. Oh no. Oh, Tetris get. I mean, I am already boxing over on the left there. Yeah, if you get a certain score in Mode A, it might be 100 lines or something, I'm not sure. You get a Soyuz rocket launch. And then if you beat level 9 5 high, you get a Buran launch. And Buran being the Soviet space shuttle, which only flew one unmanned mission in, I think, 1989 or 1990. And it was completely computer operated. Man, only 20 lines short. Shucks. That sound wasn't right there. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. No, it was higher in the video. It was like da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Why is that different? Okay, let's try to get 100. Let's go for 100 lines. Yeah, and it's funny because to an American, like, when you see the shuttle launch, you're like, oh, it's a shuttle launch. Like, no, that is not a space shuttle. That is a Buran orbiter, which is the Soviet space shuttle. And in certain ways, it's been argued that the Buran would have actually been superior to the space shuttle. In the one sense, and for one thing, like, the space shuttle would land. It was a glider when it returned to Earth. But it was not capable of powered flight. The Buran would have actually been capable of flying under its own power, which meant things like, for instance, like with the space shuttle, the American space shuttle had to land its first try. It could not, if it missed the runway or something went wrong with its re-entry path, they could not make it a second attempt at, like, you know, lining themselves back up and landing the aircraft. Or the spacecraft, rather. They only had one attempt to hit that runway. And the fact that they managed to hit that perfect runway, like, make that perfect approach to the runway, and every attempt at a landing from space, except for the Columbia tragedy, where the spacecraft broke up during re-entry because there was due to damage of the heat shield, caused the orbiter to disintegrate in the heat of re-entry. Oh, that did not go well. It is so odd that one thing is like the pitch is different. But no, I'm satisfied with the look of the output here, to the point where I have plans for Pokemon. I have big plans actually for Pokemon on my stream, and when that time comes. Yeah, when that time comes, I was going to, actually, I have a pretty solid foundation here to start working towards, yeah, I might as well. Oh, and it's time to, start cashing in on some of these Tetrises I've, set myself up for. Okay, that's 4 lines down. A whole bunch more to go. Now, can I? No! Okay, that did not work. That was not fast enough. I don't even know if that was actually physically possible. Okay. Yeah, I was looking at recently by pure coincidence because I was watching videos not too long ago about the strats they use to get to higher levels, like the extremely late levels in the game, extremely high levels in the NES version of this game, where things start like the colors start glitching out and things like that. I found it really weird that like the way they hold the controller and stuff. It's like, I don't understand how the human brain and the human reflexes are fast enough to even play at the level these players are going at, because it gets absolutely ridiculous eventually. These high-level Tetris games on the NES version. Yeah, it's funny. I guess casually, like the Game Boy version is the definitive like classic home console version of this game. But I guess competitively, it's all about the. It seems like it's all about the scene is focused around the NES version. But I'm sure the Game Boy version was like sold better than the NES version and being able to play it portably was such a good part of such a major part of that game's story as a killer application for the Game Boy. Now if because I have I've had very specific plans to play this. Oh my goodness. Alright. No. Okay. Now, if I get far enough, I want to see if I mean, getting lines doesn't have to mean getting Tetrises, but it's just the because I honestly don't care about my score in Tetris games. I really care about how many lines I actually clear. So it's really more the practicality of clearing lines as quickly as possible is my motivation for Tetrises. It's not so much about... Yeah, and the scoring is interesting in this version of lots of versions of Tetris, because your score is based on how many blocks are placed. 90, 97. I'm not sure exactly what the scoring is, because you think the scoring would just be based on how many lines you get and how... if you get a single, a double, a triple, or a Tetris. But you're getting lines based on every drop that's completed, and it's not 63. Oh man, I messed up that drop. I was too busy looking at the score to see what the numbers changed to. We're gonna tuck this one in right there. There we go. And we got to this level 1. You start at level 0. Yeah, the levels are how fast it's going. And when you're playing mode B, you get on like level 9, and then the high is how many blocks are already on the field when you start. And the final stage in terms of mode B is level 9, 5 high. And I think there's a code where if you like hold it down, you could play, the whole game is like slightly faster, I think, like that. I think that's how that works. And of course, because of they did good jobs with the shapes, the way they decorated and differentiated the different blocks from each other. But this is not a game that suffers. That's another great thing about Tetris as a killer app for Game Boy. This is a game that does not suffer whatsoever from being black and white. In fact, the original computer this game was based on did not display in color at all. Whereas when they tried to do the port of Dr. Mario, that game fundamentally suffered from not being in full color. I mean, they like shaded the blocks differently to make them the pills to make them look different, but that is not. Dr. Mario was not a good fit for a color-only game or a black and white only system. Whereas when they did Tetris Attack, due to the nature of those blocks, Tetris Attack, even though the original game on Super Famicom was in full color, it had a much more graceful transition to black and white compared to dealing with the Tetris. With Tetris, I mean, Tetris was, because the pieces are based on shapes instead of colors, you don't have that problem. With Dr. Mario, the shapes are color-based, so that already made it inaccessible for the people who couldn't see a full color range on the home console, and so they had to turn into sort of how they textured or shaded the blocks on Game Boy, and it didn't really work as well. Yoshi's Cookie, I was just thinking of Yoshi's Cookie. I was probably going to talk about that next. Yoshi's Cookie, I have not seen. That was on Game Boy, NES. Now, I think that was on, Yoshi's Cookie, I believe, was on Game Boy and Super Nintendo. I'm not sure if there's an NES version or not. But I never played any version of Yoshi's Cookie. In fact, the closest I ever came to playing anything referring to Yoshi's Cookie was in the game, the Nintendo DS, on Tetris DS for Nintendo DS, which is a game that Nintendo would have to like resecure the rights and stuff to re-release anyway, and then it's not going to happen because the Nintendo Switch can't display in two screens. That's like the last chance really for that to come out was on the Wii U Virtual Console, and the Nintendo didn't have the rights at the time to re-release Tetris games, so that game's probably going to be... Tetris DS is sadly a game that's probably never ever going to be re-released. And the amazing thing about Tetris DS is that they themed it around different Mario games. Like there was one themed around Metroid, one themed around Super Mario Brothers, and there was one mode, the puzzle mode, appropriately enough, was based on Yoshi's Cookie. So that used imagery and music from Yoshi's Cookie. And that's the first time I really ever heard any of that music. Yeah, so I believe the original Yoshi's Cookie was developed. Oh yeah, there was Yoshi. There was one just flat out called Yoshi. In Japan and in Europe, it was called Mario and Yoshi, and that game was actually developed by Game Freak, and they later reused the Mode B music, the dun 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 dun. They used that as the Pokemon Center theme in the first Pokemon game. And now that's, now it's more known as for being in Pokemon than from being in Yoshi. Yeah, if you ever, I don't know if you ever played Pokemon Red, but if you listen to the Mode B theme, now, when I first started playing Tetris, I was like, I think my mom would like this. I introduced it to my mom, and she got hooked on it, and we had 2 Game Boys, and we got a link cable, and we were playing 2-player Tetris on the link cable Game Boy, which was really fantastic, using the DMG original model Game Boy. And that's what turned my mom into a casual gamer, and years later she had Tetris DS, and we were playing that wirelessly, when we were hanging out. I was in college by this point, but when we'd go and hang out or whatever, we'd play Tetris together, Tetris DS wirelessly on Game Boy, rather on Nintendo DS. Another 6 minutes we'll take swings at Mode A, and then for the rest of the stream, let's try some Mode B. Yeah, but I've said it before, but I'm very happy. Like, when I play Kirby's Dream Land, I'll be playing that on Nintendo Switch Online. I'll play it right here with this version, because I like the way the Virtual Console displays simulating the green screen Game Boy, because that's one of the things I love about the Analog Pocket, is that it lets you simulate. Now, when the way the Analog Pocket does it in, like, with these big, it does it like pixel by pixel almost, so it really even more, like, this simulates the color of an original model Game Boy screen, but the Analog Pocket simulates, like, dot for dot what with the original model Game Boy looked like to play on, where you can actually make out the individual pixels. which is cool. It looks cool, but it makes certain games display very poorly at a smaller screen size. Like, there's certain games I've tested, and I won't say which ones, but there's certain games I've tested where, instead of having this Game Boy frame, I blow it up bigger, because it only looks better. It only looks good when it's blown up bigger. And there's certain games where the fine detail really matters, and the ones I've started doing this with are puzzle games, interestingly enough. Yeah, let's fit this one here. We have not gotten a single line yet. But, like I was saying, when you was a kid, your father had a huge suburban truck with a small TV inside. Your brother would play Yoshi in the back seat and were driven places. Oh, you had an NES with a little TV hooked up to the TV in the back. Huh? Those are some cool memories. Because the thing is, with portable games in any way, it's not only like the time in your life when you were playing, but also the places where you were playing. So I can only imagine like the memories of like going on, you know, like an interstate vacation or something like that, where you might have like a 10+ hour car ride and having like a TV in the back. Now, I never played a home console in a car before, but I have some interesting memories. I had some friends around the corner, and it was a big family, and so they got a minivan that had a little tiny CRT TV mounted in a console in the back that was mounted up there. So in the back, I remember one night, and I know what we were going bowling. The bowling alley was like about a half hour from where we were at. I was not in New York City at this point. But it was in the 90s, and it was at the height of Pogmania, and I had a videotape about Pogs. And we went to the bowling alley, and on the way, it was like still light out on the way there, but on the way back, it was nighttime out. So I just remember, and on the way back, we got a pizza, and so on the way back, we got a pizza from the concession stand of the bowling alley. So we're in the back, we're eating in a moving vehicle, it's late at night, so we're all out on the highway, we're eating, all these kids, it's in the 90s Pogmania, and we're on the back seat we're on the back of this minivan eating pizza, watching a VHS tape about Pogs. And that's one of those like deep 90s kind of moments, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, it's hard to get more, like, it was more of those 90s moments that you'd like, or sort of make, like, if you do like a Stranger Things type scenario where like they go out of their way to like reference all these 80s things that may have not necessarily come together in the way they did, but just like it's what people think of as being. And now I've never actually seen Stranger Things, but this is something I've heard people say about it. And similar period pieces where they sort of over accentuate certain things, or maybe were not so much a thing as at the time, so much as how people nowadays remember it, or people who, oh no, I ruined my game right there. Oh, maybe I can salvage this. Yeah. I did not ruin it. We're just making those lines in ways I didn't originally plan on. Now what I really need, what I deeply need. Yes. The RNG was good to me. Yes, the RNG was very good to me there. Very kind to me. Yes, actually, that is what I needed. I needed the opposite of this piece right here. You know, in Stranger Things, you'd highly recommend it. I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably never gonna see it. Unless I, like, I don't know, get some in-person friends that want to watch it or something and we're hanging out, but that's not the kind of life I'm living at this point in my life. And frankly, like, whenever I'm not doing this, I'm writing or doing professional stuff or something like that. Oh no. Okay. Oh no! Yeah, I could not move that over fast enough. Oh, it bugs me so much. Let's see how long I last at level 9. Oh boy. And I beat this game. I beat level 9 5 high. Now I remember it was in the 90s. I was like on my 10th birthday. We went to Walt Disney World. My mom and my grandma. And we flew down to Florida. We went to Disney World. And whenever we weren't doing, like, I used my Game Boy to kill time a lot on lines. And we were in diners getting our breakfast in the morning. We'd go to diners, and I was playing Tetris a lot. And I think it was during that trip that I actually beat level 9 5 high for the first time. And, oh my goodness. And one thing I thought was cool is that our hotel room, we did not stay on property. Because even back then, it was pretty expensive to stay on property at Walt Disney World. But yeah, we got just a regular hotel, but the hotel room had a PlayStation controller, and you could, like, dial up games, pretty much. It was one of those digital kind of rental things where you play, you pay a certain amount of time, and you get so many, minutes, or, like, you pay and you could play for an hour or two or something. I don't know exactly how it worked, but it was definitely, it was definitely cool, playing Crash Bandicoot 1 in my hotel room without a PlayStation actually being there. Alright. I don't know why the point is of saving all these high scores when you cannot... There's no battery backup. Alright. Let's try... Now, this is the line clear mode. The concrete goal here is to get 25 lines. Now, it's cool that I have a new Nintendo Direct volume setup thing. Yeah, I don't know the time for the Nintendo Direct. I mean, the Pokemon Presents, which is the Nintendo company-specific version of a Nintendo Direct. I don't exactly know what time that is. So I'll check that at the end of the stream, and I'll see what time it is. I guess it's like in the morning. It's like, I think it's something like 9 or 10 in the morning. The Pokemon Presents, because Pokemon Presents are usually in the morning. Alright. Yeah, and if they announce Pokemon, I won't be playing it anytime soon. I have very specific plans for how I want to do Pokemon. But now that there was a very specific way I wanted to do Pokemon, and I was going to be able to do it using the Analog Pocket and some of the features it has. But now that there's such a thing as potentially Pokemon being on the Nintendo Switch Online, when the time comes to do those streams, I'll be able to do it using both my physical cartridge in the Analog Pocket, as well as the Nintendo Switch Online version of Pokemon, which is going to be very interesting. No. Yeah. Okay. Now we gotta... Okay. Now, up. Crouch there. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking this through. Yeah, I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do with Pokemon. Oh yeah, my Pokemon stream is going to be something special. It's something I've never seen a Pokemon stream do before. Something I've never heard of on Twitch, and I ran the idea past a certain full-time professional streamer, and they were very excited by my idea, and were like, "This is the craziest stuff I've ever heard of, and I hope he actually goes ahead and does this." Okay, we need 7 more lines. 6. Oh my goodness, we're so close. This is just what I need. Yes! 5. 4. Oh my goodness, this is so tight. 3. No, that's not what I wanted to do. No, I was like 2 lines away. I was 2 lines away. Alright, let's try again. So let's see if I can. My plan for the rest of the stream, I'm getting within the next like 24 minutes or so. I'm gonna see how close I can get. I'm gonna gradually beat one difficulty level at a time. Oh man, I should have waited. I should have waited. I could have filled in that whole block over there perfectly. Okay. I could have filled in that whole block over there perfectly. And now I'm sweating a bit, I gotta say. I need... Oh, I am not getting good. Oh, this is not good. Man, this is such garbage. Oh, now I get some long boys. Yeah, give me some long boys now. Now, what I hope... You know, it's funny, if Nintendo releases the... Okay. If Nintendo releases... There is a game, like... Okay. Panel de Pon in Japan... Panel de Pon on Super Famicom was in Japanese. Never brought to the US. Well, they converted it into Tetris Attack and released on Super Nintendo. That version Nintendo cannot release because the Tetris company regrets even allowing Nintendo to use the Tetris branding for that game. So they're not going to reprogram the whole game. But they took the Game Boy version of Tetris Attack, which, like, there was no original Game Boy version of Panel de Pon. There was one planned and it got canceled and reworked into a Pokemon Puzzle Challenge for Game Boy Color. They took that game, the American, like, I guess Nintendo knew, like, oh, puzzle games do good on handhelds, and we already have the Tetris branding tie-in, so let's have a Game Boy version of, oh my goodness. I won't quit, but I might as well. I'm gonna see how far I can get. Not a single line yet, and I made a mistake that bad. Yeah, see how far I can get. Okay, well, we got a long boy here, so let's, got a triple. We're on the road to, salvaging this. And we got a double here that, if I could get, I need more long boys. And I actually did not realize... I was so confused as to how to get 4 at once. I did not understand it first. I actually had to watch the sort of attract mode of the that plays when you stay on the Tetris title screen long enough to understand. Oh, that's how. Yeah, I decided to get the go for the double here so I could get the whole stack a little lower, a little shorter. And nice, clear that. This is the lowest the highest, like the fewest, down to 12. And we've still got, and we're pretty low, our playfield's pretty short, so. Need to just, there's our long boy right when we need it. Okay. No. We're gonna do that. Make the play here. And Wow, I actually said, oh, I might as well quit, but it turns out I'm glad I didn't quit, because it turns out I was able to save things. 6. Oh, we're gonna have to make a... We're gonna have to put that stupid one somewhere. Yeah, we're gonna go for the double here. No, I will not box myself in. We only have 2 lines left. We need that box right. Come on. There we go. And that's game. Nice. Let's go through. Now to level 1. 0 high. And what we're eventually gonna do is go to okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's start building. We've got a very favorable set of blocks it's giving us almost exactly what we need when we need it so far. It is. Okay. And clear. There we go. Got our first Tetris. I'm gonna care more about clearing lines than... You know, honestly, once we get to, like, the highs, in terms of, like, the high stages where there's pre-blocks, there's a lot less emphasis on building Tetrises up as much as there is on simply working with whatever's on the field to clear one line at a time and make your way to getting those 25 lines cleared. So I'm not going to focus so much on building Tetrises anymore. And if I had started, if I thought that from the beginning, I wouldn't have bothered making so many Tetrises. And we just move these here. There we go. Those two clear. Oh no, I'm doing it again. I start automatically building Tetrises. There's not really a practical reason to do so. 12? Actually, yeah. Yeah, they could use that long boy right here. Can't make lines with it yet, but... There we go. We could use this one here. We got... No, let's build here. Rare and there. Perfect. There we go. And just a single line. Oh man, we're so... Oh no, that's so lame. We almost cleared... If this came like a couple of... Oh, this is we're tantalizingly close. Oh man. And we have cleared... Oh, okay, I might as well just spam till we get... I'm just waiting for that long boy to show up. How could it not show up? Okay. Fine. Oh my goodness. If I got... I would have beaten the stage already if only I had... Oh, now you show up. Well, we already beat the stage, so... That's fine. Okay, there were 507... Wow, did I... 574 drops? That's... I didn't... look at me. I'm already building... No. Okay, we need... There's no I need to go to the next level. I need to go level 2. Level 2. And the point of these initial... We're just building up my ability to manipulate these blocks quickly enough. Because there's no point even starting one high until I've mastered... Until I'm mattressed. I almost said mattressed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's the sequel to Tetris, Mattress. I remember there used to be these commercials for 1-800-Mattress. They always say M-A-T-T-R-E-S and leave off the last S for savings. You know, back when having the phone number was the hotness equivalent to, you know, having a web address today. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make a little bubble right there. Of course, you're gonna give me a long boy now. Okay. Only 20 left. It really doesn't feel like 500 blocks came down. You know, I wonder how different the scoring is in this compared to Mode A. Because in this, I guess theoretically, the ideal would be to have as few drops as possible. Oh my goodness, I need... Yes. Okay, I barely made that. And triple. And we can complete... Okay, we're down to 14, 13, 12... 11. Okay, we got lucky there. 10, 9, 8. Oh my goodness. 7, 6. 5. Yeah, go ahead. Give me the worst possible blocks to work with. 4. Oh my goodness. 3. 2. 1. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No! I was one line away. That was so close. To beating level 2. Okay. Man, I could legit do a... You know what I might make Tetris. This might be my game for next Saturday. Because I could sit down and do a serious stream of trying to beat Tetris. And beating Tetris to me means level 9 5 high. I'll do a single mode A game on marathon mode, see how long it could last. And then it's on to building up from level 0, gradually adding more speed, adding more speed, adding more speed. Then when I can beat level 9, and then it's about, okay, 1 high, 2 high, 3 high, until I beat level 9 5 high, and get the full orchestra playing, as well as the Buran Orbiter launch. And that, to me, is beating Game Boy version of Tetris. Down to 20, 19, 8, no, you have to complete a line before I count. You can't just count it on my next drop. Okay. 17, Yeah, there was Tetris DX, but it's very different. It's kind of misleading. Because whereas Tetris on, when they did, what was it? When they did Link's Awakening DX, that was just, they added new things to it, but it was a colorized version of the original Game Boy release. What they did for Tetris DX is they programmed a completely new game. And unfortunately, the thing that made me the most upset about Tetris DX, because I did rent it only once, and I never rented it again, because Tetris DX does not have this original music in it, or a remix of it, as far as I'm aware. Oh no! That was Bobo. That was just silly. I just flat out just put it in the wrong spot. Yeah, they did not put the original Tetris music in here. And it's not... I guess they didn't realize how iconic or how famous that music was already. But the thing is that interested me with Tetris DX is that there are several parody scenes of the rocket launches from the original game where they show... Yeah, they actually show, like, a rocket launching, but instead of a rocket, it's like a soda bottle. And then... Oh, yeah, that's one point about... Yoshi's Cookie I never got into, was that Yoshi's Cookie, I didn't realize this till recently because I was doing a lot of research on Game Boy puzzle games for certain streams I want to do within the next month or so. But when it comes to Yoshi's Cookie, that game was developed by Bulletproof Software, which is the same development team that did this version of Tetris. And yeah, it was just developed by Bulletproof Software and published by Nintendo. Now, Bulletproof Software, I think that they still exist under a different name. Oh my goodness, why did I do that? Why am I building... I'm doing the thing I said I shouldn't do. We're just building up towards Tetrises when I don't really need Tetrises. I just need to clear lines by any means. There's no unique incentive to get Tetrises. But I kind of cornered myself where I have to go for Tetrises now. Oh. You get at least a couple lines out of that. And another line here. I don't know, we're bringing down the stack pretty well. So we get I'm not sure this would have happened, but it looks like we're actually closing in on making... Yeah, this is a viable run at this point, I'd say. And if I play really well, I can close out and clear out those lines over on the left. Yeah. Get that triple. And, oh man, I'm only one line away from clearing out... Yeah, if I can clear out... Oh, here we go. Here we go. Do I try to... No, I see what I should... I'm... Okay. Got greedy there for a moment, but we're able to, get some good out of this. Okay. And... Yep. Only 2 lines away. And it's funny because these days I use this very controller to play with my analog pocket. Because if I plug it in via USB, it recognizes this controller. So I've been considering, you know what? I would play this on the analog pocket specifically because I won't say what they are, but I do have... well, at least in this case in particular, this game is definitely a Game Boy puzzle game that would be a good follow-up to Tetris. Should I? Nah. Just weighing my options. Okay. Can we get to level... I'm only going to play probably another 5 or 6 minutes because I do want to... I could keep playing, but... You know, 3 hours is a good stream. I'd be happy with that length. And, I mean, because there are times where I just don't feel like streaming anymore, or I'm really... But at this time, there's some streams where I just want to end it on a high note and try not to push it too long. Well, look at what I did. I have this compulsion to start building Tetrises, and I do not need to in this particular mode. Because honestly, like, building Tetrises is a risk. And I'm not going for a high score. There's no real concrete need for me to take risks like this. Yeah, so I have built this sort of well for myself. Okay. It would normally be Tuesday, but tomorrow is Pokemon Presents, and I'm gonna be in town. But on Tuesday, I'm gonna be streaming. I'm gonna do Amazon Watch Party of the Hunger Games: Catching Fire, which is the sequel to the original Hunger Games movie, based on the second book in the series. What am I doing? Yeah, so on Tuesday I will be streaming, doing a movie of just a regular watch party of Catching Fire. Because I do intend to do the entire Hunger Games series. Yeah, because I just, someone else in chat reminded me that there's a Pokemon Presents tomorrow where they're definitely going to be announcing new Pokemon games. The most likely thing that I'd be interested in is if they announce, there's a potential, because they already announced that they're going to have Pokemon Stadium on Nintendo Switch Online, but one of the main features of Pokemon Stadium was the transfer pack that let you play with your Pokemon from the Game Boy version on the Nintendo 64. So people were saying, like, why have Pokemon Stadium when there's no means to play with your Pokemon from the Game Boy version, because there's no digital version of the game that's compatible with Nintendo Switch. So if they release the Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow on here, you'd then be able to play Pokemon Stadium properly using Pokemon from your version of the game. So... few lines away. Four, three. No! Oh man, that hurts so bad. That hurts so bad. I had it. Okay. Oh wait. Oh wait. No. I came so close to saving that. But I think that's a good spot to end it today. Now, disregard the screen. I want to see Pokemon. Pokemon Presents Time EST. Okay, I'm trying not to see leaks. Pokemon, Monday, 27th. Okay, 9 o'clock. Wow, it's going to be early. 9 Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me, that's... Okay, never mind. I'm not going to be streaming the Pokemon Presents. The Pokemon Presents is on Monday, and I'm gonna be out of town Monday. Because normally I'm out of town Sunday and Monday. This week in particular, I was only going to be out of town on Sunday. And yeah, it's going to be Monday the 27th, so I will not be watching it live. Maybe I'll be listening to it because I'll be driving at that point. But yeah, I will film a live I'm gonna film a live reaction to me watching it for the first time, but it won't be live, I'll be watching it after the fact. So that means that instead, I'm gonna be back on Yeah, thanks for joining me, Clackaboy and the rest of chat. I'll be back on... I forgot to change Thursday to Tuesday. I keep doing this. I changed the date, but not the day of the week on the my closing screen saying when the next stream's going to be. Yeah, it's going to not Thursday, but Tuesday the 28th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing an Amazon watch party of The Hunger Games Catching Fire. Yeah, and yeah, Kalakaboy, definitely get in touch with me. You said you were going to watch the Golden Compass film from 2007. I'm interested to see if you like that or not. And if you don't like it, do not shy away from telling me. I'm very interested to hear if you like the movie or not compared to the HBO series. But that's it for now, and thank you all very much for watching.